Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. And it seems like nothing is going in favor of Chennai Super Kings. In the first innings, it felt like they were 15 to 20 runs short. And in the second innings, thanks to some brilliant batting by Shreyas Iyer, uh, PBKS ended up taking the game away from Chennai Super Kings. And with it, they have now won 4 games in a row at Chepauk. So no longer a fortress, and CSK unable to make it one this time around as well. Chennai, on the other hand, despite some late brilliance with the ball, thanks to Matt Henry, they were unable to, bowl out Punjab Kings in time to win the match. Ashok, looking back on this game, where do you think things went wrong for CSK? Do you think the match was half decided in the first innings with that 209 run score?
Well, as you can see, I tried wearing a yellow T-shirt, but it didn't work as far as CSK is concerned. But I agree with you, Gargi. I mean, I think we said this in the pre-show. We've been talking about it that a 200 score, a 210 score is just not quite enough. I think having said that, full marks to Shreyas Iyer. I think they could, Punjab Kings could have lost their way in the run chase. But I think Shreyas Iyer did a magnificent job of leading his team. And one point that I wanted to make is that if you look at the wagon wheel, and I was taking a look at the kind of shots that he's played, it's all around the ground. I think he's really, played a masterful innings. Full credit to him.
Shomik, 15 to 20 runs short in the first innings. That's where the game was decided.
You can say that about at least 10 to 12 runs short in the sense that was down to Ruturaj Gaikwad. I mean, Ruturaj Gaikwad is a problem. Ruturaj Gaikwad is a problem for Chennai Super Kings. But I still thought that Chennai Super Kings, at the end of the day, 210 is still a lot of runs. From the very start, you have to score at an asking rate of 10 runs per over. So it is actually the fact of the matter is that you win nothing with this bowling, with this powder puff bowling. You win nothing. You are not taking wickets in the power play. Well, you want to defend 210. You need to take wickets in the power play. You are not taking that. Priyan Sharia and Prab Simran Singh stitched a decent solid opening partnership, and almost every Punjab Kings batter chipped in. Shreyas was the top scorer. So with this kind of bowling and the way they released pressure, you look at Cooper Connolly's dismissal. It was in the 12th over. Cooper Connolly got out, and then there was pressure. The very next over, Rahul Chahar bowled, and Shreyas hit him for 2 sixes. Pressure was released. The next over, Noor Ahmed bowled. He gave away only 5 runs. Once again, pressure. The next over, Matt Henry came, and he was clobbered all over the park. Pressure was released. Game gone. Game done and dusted. So you can't win. You win nothing with this kind of powder puff bowling. Simple as that. And it is going to be a long summer for CSK. It is going to be Dewald Brevis coming back will add power to their batting. But I don't see. I mean, very disappointed, especially with Rahul Chahar as a bowler. Very disappointed. But and also Ruturaj Gaikwad. We'll discuss this later. But Ruturaj Gaikwad is affecting Sanju Samson's form also.
Ashok, yes?
Sorry, can you hear me? I just wanted to make a point. In fact, ask a question actually. Wasn't it surprising that CSK didn't use Shivam Dubey or for that matter Prashant Veer in the bowling? I mean, ultimately, I think Shomik's point is very valid, which is that if you're going to make it work with two, your bowlers have to execute to a plan. And I think that's where CSK has also got wrong and needs to be called out. I'm not sure why they would not employ the other 2 bowlers.
Chomik, we've seen Shivam Dubey, in T20 games, he's given a lot of breakthroughs. He's been able to do that in the middle overs. Why not use a Shivam Dubey? What was going on there?
It's absolutely beggar's belief. He is a much improved bowler. He has taken wickets for India in international matches. He's a much improved bowler now. He's a smart bowler. And after that innings, he would have been high on confidence. And if you would have given a ball that he could have carried that confidence forward to his bowling also. Once again, very disappointed with Ruturaj Gaikwad. I mean, as a batsman, we know this is his style. He consumes deliveries upfront, which once again is not in sync with modern T20 cricket, number one. But especially Ruturaj Gaikwad as a captain in the penultimate over, when that review was taken, that was Sanju Samson insisted Anshul Kamboj to take the review. He was standing, the keeper was standing on the field almost motionless. This is not the way. Under MS Dhoni, what we have seen, win or lose, that is a different thing. But Dhoni used to be always in control of this proceedings. This guy doesn't at all look like he is in control of the proceedings. It's a big problem. I would say Chennai Super Kings are having a leadership crisis on the field.
Ashok, while we talk about the problems that are going on in the CSK team right now, I want to point the debate towards Sarfaraz Khan. That was a great innings by Sarfaraz Khan. He came down the order and actually saved it for CSK, because if it wasn't for those 12 balls, 32 runs, I think they could have been in a very, very tricky position where possibly PBKS could have come in and absolutely steamrolled them. But a 266 strike rate innings, how are you seeing this? This is going to be some really, really good and positive news for Sarfaraz Khan and his future in the IPL. Also helps him, if he continues batting like this, also helps him vie for a spot in the Indian T20 setup.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think he evoked memories of the past. I think that innings was crucial, and I think you need to have those kind of knocks in the middle order to get to this kind of number that we're talking about. And I think CSK will have to really think about a lot of things. One of the aspects of it will be how do they accelerate, keep that momentum up once they've got a good start. And I think. We've seen this in the past as well. They could have easily got to a 220, 230, I think a 20 runs short. But full marks to Sarfaraz Khan. And I think the way he played, definitely a candidate to look at for the India squad later on.
Shomik, your thoughts on Sarfaraz? For so long, he's been looked at as a purely red ball batter.
Gargi, I have a question for you and Ashok. Give me one good reason why Sarfaraz came out to bat after Karthik Sharma. I mean, Sarfaraz Khan is not a finisher. He is a pure middle order batsman at number 4 or number 5, right? And if you look at his scoring pattern today also, he didn't bludgeon the opposition bowling. He used the wrist work, deft touches, the area towards the third man region. Brilliant, playing late, picking the gaps. That is his style of play. So why I couldn't fathom why he came after Karthik Sharma. Sarfaraz Khan, he faced 12 balls, right? He could have faced 22 balls. Higher up the order, he could have faced 22 balls, and that would have augured well for Chennai Super Kings. And that dugout has giants. Some heavyweights in terms of the coaching staff, Stephen Fleming, Michael Hussey. So it defies logic because you don't expect such decisions from a coaching setup like Chennai Super Kings, where you have someone like Stephen Fleming, where you have someone like Mike Hussey. Very disappointed. Once again, very disappointed.
Exactly. And Shivam Dubey had come up the order. He had come to bat in the power play, which I understand the logic that maybe you're trying to get him to hit, but then he ended up playing an anchor's role, which was even more puzzling as to why then Shivam Dubey was sent up the order. It could have very well been Sarfaraz Khan. So, not understanding why that decision happened. It's not as if they were focusing on a left right combination, or he was brought in to tackle on a certain bowler. So I didn't really understand that logic. But here's a comment. Vaibhav Taragi is saying Shreyas Iyer as a leader is magical. Hope he gets that stroke of luck this time to make PBKS win their first trophy. Ashok, things are looking very positive for Punjab Kings at the moment with the way that they're going right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think whether PBKS win their first trophy or not, I think that's for later. Right now, if you look at it, you can clearly segregate teams which are executing to a plan and teams which are not. Forget about the strengths or weaknesses of the teams. We're not discussing that. What when you go into a particular situation, how do you execute? And I think to rally around the team and to lead from the front, Shreyas Iyer is really setting the benchmark for that. And I think the way he conducted himself, the way he carried through that innings today, PBKS is definitely going to be a strong contender for the finals.
Yes, Shomik.
Gargi, Punjab Kings have the best captain of the IPL. Uh, it was evident last year also and this year. They have the best captain, and if you look at the history of the IPL, the teams that have been successful all had top captains, be it Rohit Sharma at Mumbai Indians, MS Dhoni at Chennai Super Kings. When KKR won those two titles, who was the captain? Gautam Gambhir. Very strong captain, very, very good captain. So you need a leader. You need a leader. Even after such proliferation of support staff, bowling coach, batting coach, now we have a power coach even. But at the end of the day, on the field, it's the role of the captain. And they have the best captain in the IPL. And that is the reason why Punjab Kings from last year, since last year, have been looking a completely different outlook.
And Ashok, now the point that Shomik brought up, he said that Ruturaj Gaikwad is now also somewhat, harming Sanju Samson's rhythm as well when they go out to open. What are your thoughts on that? Ruturaj Gaikwad and his opening position, the way that he's not been able to score. It's just been two games, but your thought?
I think on that I'll reserve my comment. I think it's too early to take it to that argument that far. I think the questions that Shomik has raised with regard to his captaincy, I fully agree. In fact, that decision to review, they had two reviews left, and it was Sanju Samson who actually initiated it. And even otherwise, I thought Ruturaj's body language on the field wasn't really measuring up. I'm not sure the batting will impact Sanju Samson. We'll have to wait and see. I think two matches is too small a sample size to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Yes, Ashok, I agree. I agree. But the fact of the matter is that the flip side is that, as because he takes time to get into the group, this is what Sanju Samson is used to open with Abhishek Sharma. And he is used to the openers going double barrel. Now, what is happening? As because he is taking his time, the pressure is on Sanju and he is trying to manufacture his shots. And today also he gotten out because he tried to that shot on that length was not on. He tried to manufacture his shot. So this is the downside of Ruturaj Gaikwad at the top of the order, consuming uh, consuming deliveries. He should be, I think, he should be more proactive right from the word go. But once again, that is not his batting style. What to do? So this is just my observation. Let's see how the CSK management handles this.
Okay, I'm going to read out some comments here. Raj is saying Sanju and Matre is a good opening pair in T20s. Raja is saying it is clear that it is because of MS captaincy brilliance. CSK were unbeatable, nothing to do with Fleming as a coach. All right. Vinny's Magic is saying, do you think Chennai has to phase out Stephen Fleming also with Dhoni and adapt a new generation of T20 template? All right. So a lot of people are talking about MS Dhoni's
This is a
captaincy.
good question. This is a
Yeah.
good question. The final one, Stephen Fleming,
Yeah.
whether they will have to phase out. Gargi, many years ago, when Dave Watmore, I think the Sri Lanka coach, at a press conference, many years ago, I asked him if a coach has a shelf life, and he agreed that every coach has a shelf life. Maybe Maybe, Stephen Fleming, huge respect to him, absolutely no disrespect to him. Maybe as a T20 coach, he is past his sell by date. This is from a distance, it looks like this. And Chennai Super Kings' performances over the last couple of years, that sort of provides an evidence that this could be the case.
Absolutely. And Ashok, if you want to add something to that, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I just wanted to add to that because there was Stephen Fleming and MS Dhoni. I think the other perspective to take is that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think CSK has built a certain a brand, certain identity, certain quality of cricket that they play, and the question then is how do you leverage what MS Dhoni has brought to the table and build on that and innovate given that the T20 format is changing. I think that's the other question to ask. So I am not a big proponent of saying just replace everyone. The shelf life is over and you need to look at it. Yes, you may want to look at Stephen Fleming moving out. Maybe the format has evolved and perhaps that style doesn't work anymore. Also, this might be perfect timing given that CSK has got a lot more younger players. The dad's army of the past is gone, and CSK is trying to kind of play a different kind of not taking the game deep, trying to play it differently, and therefore definitely calls for perhaps a new coach. But then you can't throw away your legacy. You've got to build on what you have to then take it forward.
And while we talk about CSK's problems, I think we should also talk about Yuzvendra Chahal. He was one bowler with the lowest economy today, an economy of 7. If it wasn't for that one dropped catch, he would have 2 wickets. But the way that he was bowling, Shomik, the way that he contained after, after Ruturaj Gaikwad and Ayush Matre had started going. I think it was brilliant the way that he was bowling.
Absolutely, and it is down to experience. Actually, on that pitch, you have to vary your pace. You have to tease the batsman in the air, and you have to vary your pace because you are not getting anything from the pitch. So he did that, and he did that to perfection, to near perfection, and that was the reason why he was so successful. And it was brilliant to watch the way he bowled. His leg spin bowling was brilliant to watch, and one of the positive takeaways from the game that you want to carry. Now, one on the other side, you had Rahul Chahar, who didn't learn from his mistakes. He saw how Yuzi Chahal was varying his pace, was bowling slower through the air, and he
Yes.
once again went faster through the air. Same line, no variations, nothing. So once again, and the contrast was very, very prominent.
Absolutely. Let's take final couple of comments and then we can close the show. Fitmonk is saying CSK should figure it out about making Samson their captain. Gaikwad lacking that confidence clearly. But Ashok, one thing I want to add to this is, do you think Sanju Samson does well when he's the leading man?
That's a good question, Gargi. First of all, I think let's just first focus on the comment. I think too early, too premature. See, Sanju Samson is also adapting to a franchise, and in the pre-show, I spoke about how there has to be an emotional connect, especially with CSK. It's too premature to say that he's ready to take over and we need to change. There has got to be a process by which he settles down, he finds his feet, and he builds that emotional bond with the franchise and with the players, and only then can you do the transition. As to whether
Exactly.
if he's captain, yeah, whether he's going to be the captain and therefore he's going to deliver, I'm not sure the empirical evidence points in that direction. I think currently the focus of the franchise has to be that they've got two new youngsters whom they have bought at 14 crores plus a piece. Jadeja is out, Sanju Samson is coming. They've got to find their rhythm and get their act right. And once that is done, we can talk about captaincy, we can talk about other things. But right now is not the time to look at these kind of changes.
And Gargi, if I may add a little more to this, I totally agree with Ashok because this is Sanju's bedding in period as far as CSK is concerned. So eventually, I believe he will be given captaincy, but not this season, next season, because he needs that proper bedding in period. He is just new to
Right.
this franchise, and
Absolutely.
he needs to win over the dressing room first, convince the dressing room first, and he needs to have a solid footing before he could be given the captaincy.
I agree. And Abhay, final question here. Abhay is saying Ruturaj is not around bowlers at all. He gives up early. As captain, no talk to bowlers when they are bowling bad lengths. He just stands somewhere. I don't see that passion in captaincy from Rutu. I think people are being a tad bit too harsh here. Shomik, your thoughts?
I'm not impressed with Ruturaj captaincy. Not this season. I have never been impressed with Ruturaj captaincy. He in his first season, he was completely under Dhoni's shadow. Last season, he picked up an injury, and Dhoni had to come back to take charge of the team. And this is his first full season when he has the opportunity to make it his team. This is his first full season, but the early signs are not encouraging. His body language, the way he has been reacting, standing motionless on the field, I'm not at all convinced. If he can prove me wrong going ahead, I would be very, very happy.
All right, then, on that note, we can take your leave. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be back tomorrow. Delhi Capitals takes on Mumbai Indians in the afternoon game. It's a double header day. I'll be on ground, so don't forget to join us then. And of course, have a good night. We'll be